Imagine having the power to rewrite history, only to watch it unfold like a predictable, uninspired rerun. That's the essence of New Saga, the anime adaptation of Masayuki Abe's novel, which promises a thrilling time travel adventure but delivers a bland, unremarkable journey instead. But here's where it gets controversial. While the premise is ripe with potential, the execution feels like a missed opportunity, leaving viewers wondering why such an intriguing concept was handled with such little creativity. And this is the part most people miss. Despite its flaws, New Saga occasionally sparkles with humor and character quirks. But these moments are drowned out by its overall mediocrity and questionable content choices. The story centers on Kyle, a magic swordsman who, after defeating the Demon King at the cost of his life, is sent 4 years into the past by a crimson crystal. Back in his once-destroyed hometown, he finds his loved ones alive just before a catastrophic war between demons and humanoids threatens their existence. It's a setup that screams high stakes and emotional depth. Yet New Saga somehow manages to strip it of all tension. Kyle's journey is eerily smooth, as if the past is a checklist he's simply ticking off, rather than a complex web of cause and effect. Here's the bold truth. The lack of consequences or challenges makes the narrative feel flat, almost as if the writers were afraid to let the characters, or the audience, feel any real danger. Let's talk about the characters, because they're where New Saga could have shone. Instead, they fall into tired anime stereotypes. Take Lise, the monk brawler with a side of jealousy, whose predictable anger toward every woman near Kyle feels more like a trope than a personality. Then there's Saren Layla, the classic big guy, who's equal parts loyal and clueless, stumbling into the same mistakes repeatedly. Urza Exus, the elf summoner, relies on the same 2 entities for her attacks, while Sildonia Zealous, a humanoid version of Kyle's weapon, spends most of the series snacking and cracking jokes. These characters aren't bad, they're just familiar. And in a genre as vast as anime, familiarity breeds boredom. And this is the part most people miss. New Saga isn't entirely without charm. The dry humor sprinkled throughout occasionally lands, and some dialogue exchanges are genuinely funny. But these moments are too few and far between to salvage the series. Worse, the show stumbles into problematic territory with its casual homophobia and racism, which feels especially out of place in a story about second chances and redemption. It's 2023. Can we agree that mocking characters for their androgyny or race is not only unnecessary, but actively harmful? Here's a thought-provoking question for you. Does anime have a responsibility to evolve beyond these outdated tropes, or is it fair to excuse them as part of the genre? The action sequences, which should be the highlight of any fantasy anime, are disappointingly brief and uninspired. Battles that could have been epic are over before they begin, and the animation rarely rises above functional. Even the climactic fight near the end feels oddly detached, as if the characters, and by extension the audience, are just going through the motions. It's hard not to feel like New Saga squandered its potential, especially when time travel is such a rich narrative tool. What if Kyle's actions had unintended consequences? What if his relationships with his party members evolved in unexpected ways? Instead, the story plays it safe, sticking to a well-trodden path that never challenges or surprises. In the end, New Saga is a frustrating watch, not because it's outright bad, but because it could have been so much more. Time travel, redemption, and a cast of quirky characters are ingredients for a masterpiece. Yet the final dish feels bland and unseasoned. Here's my final controversial take. If you're going to tackle a premise as ambitious as rewriting history, you owe it to the audience to take risks. New Saga doesn't, and that's its greatest failure. So, what do you think? Is New Saga a harmless misstep, or a missed opportunity that deserves more criticism? Let's debate it in the comments.